It would be cool if it was real because, I mean, just imagine that instead of us flying to Vegas, we could Scotty, beam me to Vegas.
That would be cool, but the part that bothers me is like I just told you how I feel about like being out in the country. I hate rednecks because it's too far away from civilization. How am I going to feel on the moon? You know, I'm
If all
just
this,
way too. I'm not getting a signal. I'm not comfortable. It's not that I don't want to talk to my neighbors, but it's nice to know they're there. It's weird.
yeah, it would be definitely weird. Yeah, we're gonna go to Starbase number 10 right now, and
Right
there's
on.
like me and three aliens here, and they don't speak my language. And oh wait, that's like a Tuesday night in our local redneck
Are we on
bar.
the air right now?
Yeah, we are. We are.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody. Good evening.
good evening. It's Tuesday night. It is music chat night and second session, the Q&A time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Brian, it's been another week. We've had some fun, and it's time to kind of dig in. And you've been starting in our topic tonight, kind of getting into it the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kind of take a step back. What got you into talking about the people coming up and interrupting your flow of music?
Well, it's like I said in my last video, which is not the video I did yesterday. I actually posted one today. Somebody had said to me, with this whole thing, and I don't want to jump ahead of myself here, but in regards to my frustrations about these kind of things, they'll say things like, why do you hang on to this stuff for days and then talk about it? Just let it go,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, I don't hang on to this stuff for days. I don't have that option because my clients are checking me out on Facebook and YouTube and everything else. So I can't talk about it right away. I've got to hang on to this stuff for weeks, months, and sometimes even like up to a year before I mention it and make it really big so nobody thinks I'm talking about them, because people will get paranoid. Oh, talking about my gig. No. I'm talking about something that happened in the past. And so I got to be real careful when I do bring this stuff up. So this is just stuff that has happened over time. Nothing that happened particularly last week or the week before or whatever. Just has happened, and I felt like it was a good time to bring it up.
And for those who haven't had a chance to check the video link is in the description below. You can check that out after the show. But give us a little recap of what you were talking about in the video, if you could.
Well, basically what I'm saying is that if you have a party that's going well, it's fine. Everybody's having a nice time. But then all of a sudden you get that opportunity where you get that dance floor. And for some reason, the planets are just lining up. Everything is working out well. The song you are playing, they're responding well to. And then you start kind of feeding off of them and saying, yeah, this is the next song to play for them. You play it and it's even bigger and it brings more people out. The party is starting to go from like a nice party to an amazing party.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it happening. And you do your set. And we talked about this a little bit last week, where what I like to do is go from, like kind of a good, better, and amazing is how I like to do my sets. Be it 3 songs, 5 songs, 10 songs, doesn't matter. I build gradually to a peak, and then I come down and start over again. But there's, it's a sixth sense as a DJ, and I think some of us have it, where you kind of just know that everything's kind of hanging in the balance in the next track, and you know what the right track is to play.
Yep.
And you're just going to launch this party into the stratosphere. It's going to happen. You're queuing it up. You're ready to go. Your headphones on. Okay, I know where I want to come in. Everything. And then someone in charge comes up to you. We're not talking about a party guest. We're talking about the bride, the groom, perhaps maybe even the wedding coordinator or the parents. And they say something to you like, Aunt Betty really wants to hear Deo by Harry Belafonte. You have to play it right now. And you're like, well, give me 2 songs and I'll play anything you want. Yep. Because I know after I play this next song, I'm going to put that crowd in that zone where it doesn't matter what I do from here on out. I just made them trust me 100%. If I played It's Gotta Be Cool because I gave them this great set, they're going to dance to anything.
Yep.
Grandma's going to dance to Tupac. It's going to happen after I complete this set. I've won. And I say, give me 2 songs, or give me no. You have to cut this off and put this on right now because she's going to leave.
Yep.
And you ruin it. That moment, you're not going to see that moment like that again at this particular event. It's still going to be a nice party. Nobody is going to say this sucked, but they're not going to know how great it could have been. And I really just hate that. That bothers me.
Oh, yeah.
and I express this in the video, and that's kind of, we can go from there, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to talk about those times where we've all had it, where we've been on whether it's in a set and we know that's going to work well, or we're doing an activity, and you've got someone who comes up. My favorite one is one of the schools that I used to work with an awful lot. I don't much anymore because of their declining enrollment, but we're up there, we have that floor going, and I'm into the set where at the time Sandstorm was one of your big anchors for the set.
Yeah.
As we've talked on other shows. Getting there, and the advisor comes up and says, "Hey, can you throw in some AC/DC next?" Like, well, no, I'm going to this. He goes, "Well, really, no. I think we need to go to AC/DC. You know, the kids just love that stuff, and you just know that if you don't continue with that set and play it out and get the kids on your side, basically, is I think the best way to describe it.
Right.
You switch that up, and they're like, oh, and it's like a buzzkill." And
right.
Kids actually, they kind of started to trickle out. And it's like, no, I want to make sure. I almost had them in my hand. Almost.
Yeah, it was almost there, And a lot of people, their argument is, well, as long as the client's happy and as long as the client gets what they want, that's all that matters. And I took issue with that even. I said, well, hold on a minute. First of all, and I said this to somebody. I didn't make a video and say this. Actually, I had it in the video, but I cut it out just for time. My dog would like nothing more than to eat a 5-pound bag of chocolate M&Ms.
Yes.
My dog would love that. but I know that if my dog ate that, it's going to kill my dog.
Yep.
Dogs, chocolate is like cyanide to a dog. I don't know if you know that or not, but I know that. And so as a responsible human being, dog owner, whatever, it would be the right thing to do to discourage my dog from eating that 5-pound bag of M&Ms. Sure. It's not like this is what the dog wanted, though. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I know, but it's going to kill the dog. And somebody said, well, that's kind of an outrageous analogy. And I said, well, not really, because we're talking about really poor, uninformed choices that people make. And to have somebody come up to me and threw a hand grenade into a beautiful dance floor that I almost had where I wanted it, and the party almost went from cool to amazing. For someone to ask me to do that and to insist on me doing that and to argue with me about it is uninformed. And it's no, sometimes what they want isn't the best thing.
For sure.
Whether they know it or not. That's why we are who we are. That's why we're the DJs. You got the whole iPad thing, iPod, music on demand. Listen to what you want when you want it. You can put it on YouTube and listen to it. People are so used to just DJing for themselves. I don't think people understand what it's like to have anyone DJ for them anymore. They're used to just feeding the DJ with requests.
Yep.
And, this is what I want. But they're not used to anybody playing something and they say to themselves, what is this? This is really cool. It's like, well, yeah, of course it's cool. You finally let somebody DJ for you for once, and now you're getting turned on to some new stuff. I don't know. It's just a drag. It's really what we want to talk about this week at the show, and I'm getting a little sidetracked here, I suppose, is just disruptive things that happen at your events.
Oh, for sure. And like somebody in the chat room, they're talking about it. John mentions during a groom, the groom's mother who must not have been invited. Yeah, uninvited groom's mother who shows up during the mother's son dance when the groom was dancing with an aunt who must have been much closer than the mother. Things like that definitely happen. And
oh, sure.
And that's we've had this situations where there's an ex that shows up at a wedding. I don't think those are the types of things though that probably get under my skin as much though as the interruptions that happen from well-intentioned people.
Yes, exactly. Wedding planners, parents, the bride, the groom.
Yep.
Even the photographer. Oh my God, the photographer. They're all the worst.
It's like, this would be a great, the sun is, and oh God, this happened, doing a lake. We're out at a lake under a tent and the sun was starting to go down and it was just about time. We had announced that and we're going to be tossing the garter in just a couple of minutes because grandma was going to be there for the bouquet. We were going to do garter bouquet and we were going to present the bouquet to grandmother. And this was really important to the bride. The photographer comes up. Okay, after this song, gang, we're going to be doing that. And he comes up and he goes half through the song. I got to take the bride and groom because the sun's going down. I need a picture now. Okay.
Yeah.
They really didn't want a picture because they both changed out of their wedding attire. Now they're wearing civilian clothes. He takes them off, does his thing, keeps them over there for 20 frickin' minutes. Grandma leaves. Then here's the beautiful moment with the bouquet, that surprise moment we could have set up, and we were going to do something neat for Grandma. She didn't know what was going on, so she just left.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing with the photographers and videographers that bother me is when they come into a room and you take your time and you set everything nice. It's clean. You have Lycra cover, scrims, whatever. Mm-hmm. Nice, neat, and clean. And they're setting up flash tripods in front of your stuff. And then the first dance comes on. You've taken your time to create this cool mood lighting for them. And the photographers just basically blind them with warm white light from their camera. And my whole thing with that is, I don't know a lot about photography, but I've learned a little bit about it from doing video and from doing photo booth. There's such thing as an ISO setting on camera for low light. You can totally set your camera for low light. Learn how to do that and capture that moment instead of trying to create it. Because your job is not to create moments. You're the photographer. Your job is to be the paparazzi, just be there and capture the moments as they happen.
And that's a great way to describe it, because this past weekend, the photographer that I was working with, he did not have a flash, and I was a little suspect at first, but he's like, yeah, this is, I don't know, $5,000 camera. I mean, it was a huge beast. And he goes, yeah, I can crank this up to ISO 5,000 or something like that.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
He's like, here, click. He takes a picture, low lighting. I mean, much lower than what's back here in the office. And he's like, here, he zooms in, and you could see how sharp the line of definition was from the edge of a face, because I think he could zoom into about that tight. It was incredible.
That's the photographer you want, and that's the photographer that I appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because he was.
There's a guy running around taking pictures, and I don't see any flash cubes, and I don't see any blinding light anywhere. I like him already.
Yeah, and
he was going to look like, but he's not screwing my night up.
He was taking pictures, and he was bouncing back and forth as we were doing things. I mean, it was really. I've had both extremes. You have the guys like that who are just really laid back, and they're just filming the night of what's happening, and then the ones who are going to control the night. Oh, you can't do that right now. I've got this to go first. Then we'll do their special dance a little bit later. It's like, really? Whoa, no. The bride and I talked about this, and she wanted to start her night off with her dad-daughter dance. And you're telling me that has to go later because it's not in your itinerary? Have you not compared notes with the bride?
Jimmy said he likes the old school guys going back to photography thing because we got the lag in the room. Yeah, the old school guys know what an ISO setting is.
Exactly, and he was definitely he was going back and talking about when he shot back in the day. And
the young people, unfortunately, who get into this business are more point and shoot. Mm-hmm. They don't make any adjustments on their cameras, so they need these light boxes and things that. But the old school guys, they understand it. I have a little bit of experience with photo shoots, big photo shoots, where you have young and old folks there who are in, photogs. Yeah, the old guys are always grabbing the young guy's camera and like, give me that thing. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the DJs, with we have the software and the computers, and there's some kid I don't understand. He's like, just give me that damn thing. I'm going to show you.
Yeah, exactly.
You little bastard. You can do all this crap. You don't even understand it. It's the same thing.
very, very much so. Very much so. So you were talking a little bit earlier, giving us the example of when a person comes up and they're wanting to mess up the set and such. You did kind of a nice job with that when you were trying to explain to them that your theory behind it. Because I find, of course, the first time when someone comes up and the first thing you want to do basically is tell them to F off and get the hell out of your face. But we all both know that doesn't work.
No.
The real way to handle this for those who've not had this experience, or if you have and you struggled with it, is that what you were doing is basically coming around and putting a virtual arm on their shoulder, and saying, hey, here's the deal: is we want to have this to be successful. In order for this to happen, and then after that, we'll be at this point where we can do anything, and it's going to be the most awesome party. Where you've kind of you're trying to include them as a partner in the success of this moment.
Yeah.
And that's really what you were doing in that moment. The problem is that sometimes this person is so darn dim, they don't grasp that there are pivotal moments in, oh, you're just playing music. Yeah, I am, but there's a methodology to it. There's a flow to it. And if you're not smart enough to understand that, that's cool. Just let me handle my job and I'll let you handle your job. But please give me 7.5 minutes before you can do your thing.
I think in their minds, and I'm being fair, I'm not being rough on anybody. This is fair. And if I didn't know anything about this, I would have thought the same thing. In fact, I can think back early in my career where I learned these things. Mm-hmm. I think that in their mind, they look out and they see a strong dance floor. They see the evening starting to happen. And they think, oh, they're just ready to dance. They don't understand that the only reason they're doing it at all is because we have used something that has to do with psychology in music to make that happen. It didn't happen organically. I made it happen. They don't understand that. They think it just happened organically. They've had enough cocktails. It's the right time of the night, whatever the case might be. So it doesn't matter what this DJ plays. They're just ready to party. No, not yet. We're not there yet. They don't know. So they think it's the best time in the world to play Deo by Harry Belafonte, and everyone will dig it because they're in that mood.
Oh yeah, there was this one event that I was at, and they played the Banana Boat song, and everybody in the room sang along. You got to do it next.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen so many stories, people leaving comments from things that have happened where things have been going really well, and somebody comes up and insists on this thing, and it's going to be great, and it totally bombs, and they almost get mad at the DJ because it bombs, and geez.
Hey, Brian, that's I want to put it. For those of you who've had that situation, someone's come up and they've given that, the bride said, "Oh my God, play this song next. This is gonna," and it bombed. How many of you have pulled out of that song? You get halfway into it, it's cleared the floor, and you've faded out into something else. Guys, share that one. I'd love to hear what you guys have done with that, because I've always struggled with that. Do you get the heck out of the song because it's a turd in a pool? Or do you trudge along because, the important person asked for it, and they've even run off and they're in a corner trying to find a drink and hiding in a corner?
It's a really good question. I think that sometimes you almost have to leave it on because it takes time for 80-year-old people to hit the dance floor.
There is that too.
I mean, I've had it before where I played a song. It's like, this is not working. They asked for it. It wasn't at a crucial time in the evening, so I didn't mind playing it. Whatever. It's for grandma. It's for whoever, someone old or whoever. And you're like, you're into the second verse already, and the dance floor is just tumbleweeds. And then you look way in the back of the room and you see somebody just trying like hell to get up there. They're working, and they're going to get out there for the B section in the last chorus. It happens. So if you kill it.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jimmy is, he's sending it out by request. And Buttery's kind of in the same field or ballpark you are with that, is that sometimes those stupid songs can work.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe grandma can't dance anymore, but still her jam.
Yeah. Yep. So
you don't know what to do. It's cool if these things are discussed ahead of time. And, I take a lot of time with my clients. Mm-hmm. What's important? Tell me what you need. Tell me the songs you got to have there. Who's it for? Tell me about your family. All of those things. It doesn't matter how much you cover this stuff. Stuff still comes up as curveballs.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden somebody gets an idea, and you want to help them. You want to help create a moment, but it could be disruptive. So
yeah, very sure.
That's what happens at the right time. But I think the most disruptive thing that I do as a DJ that clients ask for, and my client's asking for it this week, is the money dance, the dollar dance. Mm-hmm. It's the disruptive.
Definitely.
And quite frankly, I just don't understand it anymore. I don't understand why anybody would want to do it.
And it's that tradition thing. But I find there are times that I'm doing it, especially if I'm doing an earlier start time. I've got a wedding that's coming up later this summer. We're going to be starting at 6:00 in the evening. Well, it's still going to be, that's July. At 6:00, it's still like you can go get sunburn yet at that time of day. So it's going to be too early. And what I've ended up using the dollar dance for when they want it like that is to actually buy myself a little bit more time at the beginning as we get into the dance, and then we can hit that dollar dance right away. And hopefully that by the time that's done, we're going to be pushing 7:15. Now we're getting a little bit more. We had a wedding this winter, and that was our plan with the bride and groom, is that we were, okay, you guys are starting incredibly early. I think we were starting at 7:00. And just to let you know that if the crowd isn't into it, I may go into the dollar dance early that you guys wanted, because we would need to give them some time to really, get accustomed to what you want to do for the night.
Yeah.
It turned out that particular crowd was there from the beginning. We had that moment where we started, and they were there for the first song, there for the second song, more there for the third, fourth. By the fifth song was, as you were talking about earlier, that song where all of a sudden I had them here.
Mm-hmm.
We danced, and I think it was close to 8:30, 9 o'clock before we even played a slow song again. Yeah. Because they were there and they were not leaving for anything. We didn't do a dollar dance that night. I don't even think we did Garter and Bouquet. It was
money dances or dollar dances. I look at them as intermissions almost. Yep. I mean, it's kind of like, because it's so disruptive. And when you kick off an evening, you have to do a first dance. Now, what I used to do years ago, and I don't know why I don't do it anymore. I think just because I want to just get things out of the way. I used to just do the first dance, an open dance song for everybody, and then party time. And then maybe an hour in, I do a father-daughter dance and a mother-son dance, Garter Bouquet, and then more party time to kind of break it up a little bit. Because I think it's really difficult to ask a group of people who have stared at a ceremony in their best clothes, and they've sat in dinner, and they've listened to speeches, and they're listening to prayers, and it's time to get them involved with something as quickly as possible. So if you have too much of that ceremonial stuff right at the get-go of the night, people are still watching, and I think it's kind of unfair to them. So, yeah, if I can get them to hang on for like 3 songs, first dance, father, daughter, mother, son, then I can include them. I feel pretty good about that. I've got them in there as soon as possible. And then, like, if they want to do Garter Bouquet, 45 minutes to an hour in, we do that. But then that's interactive. People get involved with that.
Yep, exactly.
But then the dollar dance, it's like, I think the wind just comes out of everything. The biggest problem I have with the dollar dance is that it's ran by amateurs. I can't go out there and run it. Somebody has to do this, be it the best man and maid of honor or whoever, and you've got to explain to them, okay, give them a 30-second count, otherwise we're going to be here all night. Just collect the money, whatever, line here, line there. And nobody knows what's going on, and nobody knows what to do because they've had drinks, and it's just disruptive. And that's a really good time to all of a sudden think to yourself, oh, what time is it? Let's get the hell out.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're having a good time, as anybody, I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing, anyone should be able to relate to this. Have you ever had just such a good time, and then all of a sudden it's over, and you're like, "There's no way it's over," and you look at your watch like, "Wow, already? It's that time? It flew by." That's what you want to happen at these events. That's what I want to happen, because I want successful parties. That's what I'd like. Ultimately, that's what I'd like, the most successful parties possible. I don't want to give them an opportunity to go, geez, what we got here right now? We can go to the bar.
Yep. Oh, the babysitter. We got to get back for the babysitter.
Yeah, or, we can cut out a little early and we can check this place out or whatever. Okay, we can get the kids tucked in. I don't know, whatever the case might be. Yeah. But any break in continuity like that kind of shakes people. We've talked about it with music before, where you can make those harsh changes. You can make those changes from country to rock or to disco or whatever. And some people think they're negative, but I think they're positive. I think people wake up and get out of the trance and go, well, what the hell is this? This is waking up for a different reason. This is waking up because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, exactly. You get that boredom that's going on, and the next thing you know, people are like, yeah, well, we got stuff to do.
And then the other thing with the money dances, can they really make any money off of this? You got to figure what they're paying you per hour.
Yeah. I've mentioned that to a couple of people, and the only real benefit when I talk to people about it is that this is probably your only chance to dance with an uncle or an aunt or some family members. That's the only way. And I've even with one couple who wanted to do it, but they were concerned about time. It's like, I'd love to be able to say that we could just limit it to your family, the important people in your life, but that's not going to work. All the college friends are going to come, and all these different people that you really don't really give a rat's hiney to dance with.
I think there's other cool things that you can do, though, like mixers. I don't know if you've ever done mixers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what a mixer is, you get the whole group, you get everybody in the room involved if you can. People are dancing with random other people. So random women are dancing with random men. I haven't done this in a while, but it's cool because there's going to be a couple of couples at every event who don't know anyone. They came in from Michigan or they came in from, whatever, and they don't know anybody else. And they're just going to sit there and talk to themselves all night. This mixer is an activity where maybe the wife of one couple meets the husband of another couple. Turns out they have things in common, or, oh yeah, I work in, I don't know, I manufacture porcelain toilets. Oh, my husband manufactures porcelain toilets. Okay, we have something in common. When this is all over with, I'm going to introduce you to my husband because you guys have something to talk about. It just makes for a better party because people are being more social. It's a weird phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to explain this to people, and that sounds kind of old-fashioned and kind of hokey. No, this is cool stuff. That is a better way, I think, to dance with people than to do this money dance thing, because it's just disruptive. This dollar dance, everyone's involved, and it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny when Uncle Bob ends up with your college roommate's girlfriend. That's funny.
Especially when, Uncle Bob is smoking hot and the college girlfriend is, eh.
Yeah, it happens. Right. I don't know. I perfect world. What are you going to do? I mean, but you overcome it. But the whole point of me even bringing up that video this week was just that it bothers me. I didn't have any answers. And that's why I don't like doing videos when I can't offer a solution to the problem.
Yeah.
But this time I can't. This is just something that sucks, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Yeah, for sure. Wanted to share the last one. We've talked about, the bride and the important people there. The last interruption that just absolutely chafes me is the venue. There's one particular venue in our area where the venue person has the microphone for the house system, and we'll be doing something. He doesn't do it during toasts, and he doesn't doing spotlight dances. But any other time of the night, telephone call for Bob Jones. Throughout the whole dang night.
Ooh.
We've got another venue where the bar owner will come up, or the venue, it's a bar, and then they've got the banquet hall. He'll come up and he'll expect whatever I'm doing to stop because there's someone on the phone up there, and he wants me to stop the music or to pull the music. He's like, yeah, pull the music down, and we've got a call for Bob Jones. Can you? And it's like, I can't. How? And if, you smile, and it's like, right after this song, I realize you've got about 2.5 minutes. Go up there and tell them that the DJ will do it between the songs, but I won't want to do it in the middle of a song. Well, every other DJ here does it right when I ask him to. That's how they. And it's like, yeah, I realize that, and I apologize, but I'm not very good at talking over the middle of a song.
I've done things like that before. It doesn't bother me. If I'm in control of it somehow, It doesn't bother me. I can come in on a B section of a track and say, hey, Bob, would you answer the damn phone? We're trying to dance out here. Go to the bar and get the phone. People laugh at Bob and ridicule him for going and get the damn phone. I mean, just as an example, I've done that. And basically everybody hates Bob now, but it's funny that they hate Bob.
Oh, exactly. It's a good.
I turn them against Bob, and I turn them against the bar owner for even bothering taking the call, because I can do that. Once I got him in the zone, I can do anything I want with him. I can say anything I want, which is quite fun sometimes. When they trust you and they like you, you can do no wrong.
Exactly. That's a huge thing.
You can jump in if you throw some humor in on it somehow. And I mean, what I said was stupid, but I do well improv. I do well under pressure, really. When this kind of stuff happens, I just do it, and it's good. It's really good. Yeah, that's how I handle it.
Yeah, using humor, definitely a big part of it. Yeah. Gang, we're going to jump to the second section. There were some of you who had some questions. Butter, you had one, and a couple of you guys had some questions and such. Matt, I think, had one. We're going to put those, I've got those down. We're going to talk about those first in our second video tonight. I think here we go. Boom. There is the link for video number 2, but I want us to keep these at about 1/2 hour in length. Yes, we'll see you guys in just a couple of minutes. We're going to wrap this up and be back to you with that second link in just a couple. Thanks for watching.